Well, I survived the wedding gig. Man, if you're new to the channel or you missed the last video, in the last video I talked all about doing gig prep and getting ready for gigs, having the best practices on how to learn a lot of material in a very short period of time. And we're going to do kind of a recap of that and unpack how the wedding went down and my takeaways from it. And also have a little discussion about what it is to be a band leader and some tips on being the best band leader that you can when you're on a gig where you are the band leader. And as the title implies in the video today, I need your help. I am stumped on this song that I'm working on. It's a song that means a lot to me. It's going to be on my new record. First things first, we got to get this gear unpacked and get everything set back up in here in the studio and get back to work. All right, let's get to it. All right, so we are unpacked. I got the guitars put up. I got the pedal board unpacked, the amps back where it belongs. Everything's good, back to go. We are ready to record some music again. And we'll get to this song I need your help with in just a bit. But I want to take a few minutes to share with you guys my takeaways from this wedding gig and have a brief conversation about the fine art of being a band leader. So when I look back at the night, I would have to grade it for myself, my own performance. I'd give it a B-. And that's just me being honest. Overall, it was a great night of music, a great night of friends. The bride and groom looked beautiful. It was a gorgeous spot that the wedding was at. And the hang with the band was everything. For those of you who are new to playing in bands, or for those of you who need some wisdom dropped on you, focus as much on being easy to be around and being a good, light, easy hang as you do focusing on being proficient at your instrument. Because when you think about the gigs that you play on, especially if you're in a touring band, you're going to spend a lot more time hanging out with that band not making music than you're ever going to spend making music. And there's nothing worse than being in a band with somebody who is a prima donna, somebody whose ego isn't in check, somebody who's a heavy hang, all of those things that just bring down the experience of getting to share and make music with other people together. That is my best wisdom I can share with you guys based on my experience is the lighter you can be, the easier you can be, the more that you can be go with the flow and let things slide off your back like water off a duck's back. It's going to serve you very, very, very well. All right, so back to the gig. A few songs into the first set, the band leader on the gig, who was the piano player, totally went off script and just started calling songs. And I come from the world of improvisation and playing in jam bands coming up. I love that world. I thrive in that kind of environment where you have to fly by the seat of your pants and just listen. You have to really be trying to listen to what everybody else is playing. In the venue we were playing in, it was very boomy and loud. I could barely hear myself playing, let alone hear everybody else. We didn't have some elaborate, we were running sound ourselves, so you're sharing mixes with people and you don't have a lot in your mix, just mostly vocals. So trying to hear what the piano player that's stage left is playing when I'm stage right, there's two people in between us and the drummer behind us wearing those cymbals out in a room that's got 30-foot ceilings. It just made it very, very challenging. And then we start calling songs. Well, you know, when you're a piano player, your piano is in tune all the time, right? But as a guitar player, you've got to tune between each song. You got to make sure that you're staying in tune, especially when you are having challenges hearing yourself. In addition, if you're working up 40 tunes that you've just learned in 6 days, you need to make sure that you are able to get those charts in front of you and be able to see your notes, when to lay out, when to play. Don't forget the head that you have to play at the beginning of this song. This one bridge part that has this funky chord progression in it. You need to remember all of those things. You take all the time and all that work to make sure that your notes are dialed in. Well, it's going to be useless if you don't have the time to get to those charts and get them in front of you before the song is in motion and you're having to play. So I want to talk a little bit about what it is to be a band leader. And I think the best example of this would just to share my experience of what I went through in the third set of the show, which to me, I love the guy who is the band leader on this gig, and he's an incredible player, but I really think he failed the whole band in the third set with how he led that band. You know, when you think about leadership, and let's take it out of the context of being in a band, but when you talk about general leadership, my background is in being a sales manager, working with teams and trying to really prop everyone up, make them feel like they're doing a great job, help them see where they're deficient, and also help them thrive in those deficiencies in a way where you don't leave them hanging, you don't hang them out to dry. So with that said, I want to talk a bit about the third set because it was awful. So we break after our second set. We're outside as a band. We took a few pictures. We're having a drink. We're kind of talking about the night. We're laughing. We're having fun. Everything's going well. We are getting ready to go back on for our third set. And then all of a sudden, we hear a Dueling Pianos version of Green Day's Basket Case, which, as you all know, starts out with the guitar. So we go back into the ballroom where the band's playing, and the piano player on the gig, the band leader, he starts the song Dueling Piano style. And by the time we got in there, he was in the first verse, so I had to go up. I'm playing a separate guitar for the third set because I had to do some drop D stuff, and I had, for Basket Case, capo up on the first fret and then get in tune and then get the chart in front of me. By the time I got the guitar in tune, because it's been sitting on the stand for the first two sets, he was approaching the second chorus of Basket Case. So I just didn't get my chart in front of me, and I just winged it, and I suffered for it. And once that song finished, he just kept calling songs and playing them, starting them without giving any consideration to whether anyone else was prepared, whether anyone else needed anything from him, had any questions. On our most challenging songs, we're all in the third set, and he hung us all out to dry. So I know a lot of us, when we think about what it is to be a band leader, and a lot of us are band leaders, a lot of us think about it in terms of we're the guy who puts the band together. We coordinate with whoever's hiring you. We decide what the set list is going to be. We make sure that the band knows when they need to load in, when sound check's going to be, when showtime's going to be, load out, how you're getting paid, when you're getting paid, what your dress needs to be for the event. And this is more talking about weddings and corporate events, but all of those things are critical. But what to me is more important as a band leader is to consider, how can I make this band the star of this show? How do I keep propping them up to make them look good, which in turn makes me look good because I've hired them. I'm the point person on this gig. I want the band to kill on every single song. And being a piano player, if I need to buy some time while people tune, while people sort out their charts, especially if I've gone off script and not going through the set list as it has been planned, I want to make sure everybody is dialed in before we take on Queen and Van Halen and the B-52s and Leonard Skinner and Green Day and all these other challenging things that we had. And that was disappointing to me. We made the most of it. We had a bunch of laughs after the third set. Thankfully, the wedding party loved the whole show, and by the third set, they were all intoxicated enough where they didn't care. It was all good. But I left thinking about the amount of time that I put into learning those songs, working those songs up, trying to be prepared, making excellent notes, going through the set list, and then being hung out to dry where I never really had an opportunity to play at my best. It makes me not want to take gigs from this person again. And he's an old friend of mine. I've played a bunch of gigs with him. But I'm going to second guess the next time he throws me any work, because if that's how it's going to be, I don't want to be involved with that, because it's setting me up for failure where I've worked my tail off to go make. I have a lot more time and energy invested in getting ready for the gig than I got paid for the gig, which I still have not been paid yet. So just food for thought for any of you guys that are band leaders, particularly if you are a piano player. You need to be mindful of the needs of the band. Really, your job as a leader, and what leadership is those who are on your team, whether that's a band or any other kind of corporate team, is how do you raise them up and make them look better, make them more engaged in what you've got going on, make them want to be more prepared and put out and produce for you. And the more that you do that, the more it is going to benefit you in the long run. You're going to get more gigs. You're going to get better players playing on those gigs. The players are going to be more prepared for those gigs because they're going to be looking forward to them, because not only are the gigs fun, but the music that you make is fun. And they're going to know that if there are some things that are a little squirrely, that you're looking out for them to make sure that they are in the best position to thrive in whatever environment you put them in. Food for thought. All right, so I'm going to hop off my soapbox now and we can talk a little bit about this song. So I have this song. It's called We. I'm going to link it in the description below. It's a song that I wrote at the beginning of the year when I went on the writer's retreat. It's a very personal song to me. And it's a song, I love how intimate the feel of it is, especially in the solo acoustic version I have of the song when I opened up for Charlie Starr at the Marigold Auditorium. Charlie is the lead singer and a songwriter for Blackberry Smoke. If you're not hip to Blackberry Smoke, you should totally check them out because they're incredible. But I got such great feedback on this song. I love the song, and I just cannot seem to get it demoed in a way that is really inspiring to me. So I'd like to ask you guys to put on your producer caps and give me some ideas. When you listen to the song, what are the things that you hear? Do you like the arrangement? Would you change anything in the arrangement? Overall, do you have any kind of production ideas or orchestration ideas that you would use this instrument, not this instrument? It would sound real cool if you did an 808. And I don't care like what your musical background is. I want to hear out of the box ideas from you guys. So thank you in advance for that. And then we will circle back as this song evolves and we'll work through it. Maybe I'll do a whole series where you guys help me write this song. Then everybody gets co-production credit on the song, right? Because we're all making millions of dollars off of our recorded music these days. If you're not subscribed to the channel, I want to ask you right now to please hit that subscribe button, turn your notifications on, join the community here. This is what we do. We sort it all out here. Drop me a comment. Let me know what you thought about the video. And as a reminder, I ask that you leave your comments about production ideas related to We in this video, not in the video that has We in it. I mean, at the end of the day, I will see the comments either way, but I'd like to have them all nested here so that when I go back and kind of go through them, I'm only having to go to one place. Until next time, I'm Justin Brogdon. You guys keep making all the music, keep doubling down on yourselves, and keep being cool out there. We'll be seeing you soon. Peace.